Do you remember this? This is the Volvo XC60, a car that has been in the luxury midsize segment for over 8 years. And every time you try and forget it, Volvo gives it a shot in the arm with some subtle changes. Now there's subtle and then there's Volvo subtle. Because if you notice on this car, the form factor is exactly what you saw on the older car 8 years ago. But the only subtle bits are the new grille and the design on the wheels. That's how much confidence Volvo has that you don't need to do too much to this car. Just add those little bit of touches and it's good to go. But can it play with the big players that are all new and in the segment, all fresh and modern? That's what we're here to find out. For 2025, Volvo hasn't tinkered too much with the design. This new Forest Lake paint shade joins the fleet, but that's pretty much it. Even soft parts like the bumpers are carried over from the previous version launched in 2021. The sleek lines, digital LED headlamps with Thor's hammer DRLs and plenty of chrome continue to give it a plush look. The only new element for 2025 is the grille, which does away with the vertical slats and adopts a crisscross design. Even the size and shape remain unchanged. Over to the side, the 19-inch wheels sport a new look, and that's all that's new. The silhouette along with the thick chrome band around the windows and on the doors is carried over along with the dimensions. At the rear, you'd struggle to find even more changes as it looks identical to the outgoing versions. But are these shortcomings? I don't think so. Despite being an almost 8-year-old design with only minor facelifts over that time, the XC60 still looks like a car from 2025. If anything, the designers deserve praise for continuing with the same overall style without making it feel last gen. Now it doesn't look dated on the outside and it is the same story on the inside. The interior, even though we've seen this, we are familiar with it, it does not feel old whatsoever. The first thing you notice is just how plush it is in here, because everywhere you look and everything you touch is padded and soft touch. You have a lot of exposed stitching as well. This dual tone finish to the dashboard looks really nice. Bright upholstery mated with the dark. And like I mentioned, all soft touch, all leather. Of course, not real leather, but it still is extremely high quality. And speaking of high quality, you have buttons that are, you don't have that many buttons, but whatever you have is very, very good. A decent amount of metal used as well, a lot of open pore wood. So everything you touch feels nice and rich. There's a decent amount of crystal as well on the gear stock, which, if you're a fan of that, then okay, this is the only thing that might split opinion, but otherwise it looks very nice. What is a bit odd is this 11.2-inch touchscreen. Now this is the new bit. It's grown in size compared to the older car, which had a 9-inch unit. That one was integrated inside the dashboard, so it was very seamless and looked like it was part of the whole car. This feels like an accessory, but of course it gives you a lot more features. It is Google powered as well, so Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Maps are Google Maps as default as well, so even if you don't connect your phone, you have Google Maps, and everything is very clean and uncluttered. Big icon, so on the move it's not going to be difficult. But the other annoying bit on this touchscreen is that the HVAC controls are embedded within and they are a two-step process. Now Volvo were the first ones to bring this to the market, where you had AC controls inside the touchscreen. It wasn't great then and it isn't great now. You have to take your eyes off, you lose quite a bit of focus and attention, but that's the way it is. Speaking on the equipment, there is a fair bit. You have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, like I mentioned, a really nice crisp 360-degree camera. ADAS, of course, is part of the package. You have ventilated and heated seats in the front, and both seats get massaging options as well. And speaking of the seats, they are really top class. They are the same seats as we saw 8 years before, but they are still stunning in terms of support. Everything is electronically adjustable. You got memory function as well. So comfort wise, this thing is absolutely there. You do not feel like you're sitting in an old car at all. Then you have the steering wheel, which is really nice, uncluttered. Your basic features for ADAS on the left, media controls for the right, and you have a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. Fuss free, very clean, like the rest of the car. So overall, a really nice place to be and something you'll really appreciate. Now, those who don't remember how the XC60 was in the back seat, space, as you can tell, is not too bad. This seat is set into my position, a comfortable position for someone over 6 feet, and I still have a decent amount of knee room space under the seat as well. And the backrest is not too upright. It's quite nice, but what's really good is the support from the seats. They are well contoured, lots of layers, so you definitely feel like this is not just a hollow space. There is some support to the back all the time. You have a center seat as well, but you don't have an individual headrest. You have a fair bit of a tunnel here as well. 4-zone climate control, so individual climate controls for the rear 2 seats, and a massive panoramic sunroof to just open up the cabin. Sadly, you do miss out on sun blinds. That's a bit of a miss. And vents are in the pillars. That's a nice touch because they are a lot more effective than having them down here low below. The boot space is generous too, with 483 liters that can further open up by folding up the rear seats. Now with this update, there have been changes to the outside and inside like we saw, but nothing for the powertrain. You still get the same 2-liter turbo petrol engine, 250 horsepower, and mated to it is a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Power goes through all 4 wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And honestly, this is not a car that you'd enjoy driving. I mean, there's decent power on tap. 250 is not bad at all. Plus, you get that additional boost with the mild hybrid when you put your foot down. But it remains a sedate and calm car to drive. You don't want to push this car. And that is something you notice when you get on roads like these. Clean patches, winding section, mountains. It just doesn't egg you on to push this car. The steering does have 2 modes. There is a firm mode specifically to add a bit more heft. But honestly, you're good without it. What is nice though is the all-wheel drive system. Plenty of grip, which on a wet day like this is an absolute boon. And then you have the performance, which, as I mentioned, nothing to complain about, but then nothing to get excited about either. What you also miss on roads like this especially are paddle shifters. Sadly, you don't have that option. That would have added a bit more driver engagement. What you get instead is a manual mode for this gear stock, but you have to move it side to side, which is not really natural. So best to leave it in D. While the twisties and smooth roads are where we would all like to drive, the XC60 is more likely to be used in the city. And in the city is where you will appreciate a lot more, because all those calm, sedate manners are what make your city drives absolutely effortless. The cabin refinement for one is excellent. You have double glazed windows, so a lot less of that road noise coming in. There barely is anything. Vibrations are nil, and it just is such a silent place, which means you can truly enjoy that absolutely stunning Bowers & Wilkins audio system. It really is one of the best systems out there. In fact, when it comes to the segment best, this is it. What's also really impressive on this XC60 is the ride quality. On highways, it is nice and flat, but as soon as you get into the city, when you have the low speed bumps, which is where you expect some firmness because the previous one did have it, the suspension setup is soft and you definitely appreciate it over these harsh potholes and cracks in the road. In a nutshell, does the XC60 deserve to be in this segment still? Absolutely. It still does everything very, very well. It's comfortable, it's feature packed, it is plush and expensive, and it looks the part as well. I really don't see what you would pinpoint as a deal breaker. Yes, there are minor flaws. It's not exciting to drive. You don't have paddle shifters. It doesn't offer much to the driving enthusiast. But overall, as a package, it is extremely strong. 8 years on, it still can take the fight to the best in the segment.